Hi, I'm Sandra Hawkins and I want to show you how to write up your first Java project, your Hello World application or project in Eclipse. So firstly, open up Eclipse. You can show there's a task list window over there. That's kind of handier when you have, and the outline kind of handier when you've larger projects, but we don't need that for the minute. So in Eclipse there, you can create a Java project on the link in the Package Explorer or go to the File menu and New Java Project. So the project name there, I'm typing in Hello World. Now, no spaces in the project name. Any kind of names in Java, there won't be any spaces in. Use the default location, so that goes on C, users, whatever your username, and into the Eclipse workspace. And for each new project that you do, there'll be a new folder of that name that you've created. Now, the Java Runtime environment. So the Java Runtime environment is needed for you to compile, which checks any errors in your code, and to run your application. So now, this isn't right here at the minute. So if you downloaded the JDK that I did in the previous video, you can change that there for use a project specific JRE and change it to JDK. If that JDK option isn't there, you can go to configure JREs. I've added already, but you can click on the add button. You can choose standard VM, and the JRE home, the directory there will be C program files Java. So C program files Java, and click on the JDK folder and select folder, and then you'll be able to click finish there. Okay, now I have that done already. So here, use a project specific JRE if that's done already, and make sure there it's on the JDK 14. Project layout. So use project folder as the root for sources and class files, or separate folders for the sources and class files. So I just leave that on the default. So the source files are what you type in. That's the code, the Java code that you're typing. And the class files, when it compiles, when it's error-free, it will create a class file, and that will go into a separate folder, the bin folder, which stands for binary. Working set, that's fine as it is, and click on next. Just have a look at the next screen there. Source, Hello World, there'll be a source folder. What I want to do here is uncheck the create module info.java. It's a new thing since Java 9. So it's in the most recent edition of Eclipse. So I'm going to uncheck that. Just makes it less complicated for starting out, and click on finish. Now I have a new project here. You'll see on the left in the Package Explorer, and there's a source folder. I haven't created a source file or a code file yet. So I'm going to right click on that and choose new class. So a class file are the building blocks of Java that you can reuse code and create objects from, but that will be covered in later tutorials. So for now, a new Java class, and I'm going to call this Hello World. So it's the same name as the project. Again, a capital letter there for a class, no spaces in a class name. So traditionally, class names would be capital letters. We'll be doing interfaces later on with capital letters. So yeah, Hello World. Down here, which method stubs do you wish to create? So just for this one, and for most of them, include their public static void main, and that's string array of args. So main is a method, and when I click on the run button, the Java virtual machine will run my program for me, and it will look for that main method to know where it starts, to know where the starting point is. So again, the superclass and interface is there for later tutorials, so just click on finish. Now that will give me a class file. So public class Hello World. So public means it's accessible or available to other classes if I had any more in the same project. And main, that's a special method that tells the Java virtual machine where my program starts. So there is a comment here. So single line comments in Java are 2 forward slashes. That's generated. That can be changed or removed from the properties, but for now I'm just going to delete it. And now what I'm going to type in is system with a capital S dot out dot println. Now what's popping up here is an autocomplete list just to help you out. So println, that's print line. So print what I'm going to ask you to print inside the round brackets, and ln, the line, will put a new line after it. Now, so that is a call to a println, print line method in the output stream, which is in a system class. So somebody's already written this method and I'm just reusing it. I'm calling it. I'm not reusing it, I'm calling it. So print line, what I want to print out is a string. So I'm putting in double quotes. When you type in the opening double quote, the closing one will be put in for you. Whatever I type in here is exactly what will print in the output when I run the program. So I'm just going to type in hello world, exclamation mark, and put in there my first program. Now, and so for this to work, you can click on the save button if you want to, or Control S to save it beforehand. If you don't do that, you'll click on the run button. There's a green circle with a white triangle in it, so click on that. If you haven't saved it yourself, you will get this dialog popping up asking if you want to save and launch the project. So that's why I have a habit of just doing Control S, so I don't keep getting that. But it's okay. Now, down in the bottom there, you'll see the console, which will display any output from your program. So any output there is what I have from the system.out.println, line, and what I've asked to print out prints out exactly. Just a little shortcut before we leave that. If you type in S out and Control space, it will auto-complete and put in the rest of that call to the print line method for you. So S out and Control space. So this is, we'll just put there at the end. So Control S would save, and then run is that run button up there. And now I have 2 lines printed out. So that is our very first program in Java typed up in Eclipse.